I don't know. We're trying it from a phone because we don't know if our computer's working right or not. This is first time we're doing all this. Hopefully you guys can hear us out there. There was a couple of people that were trying to wait for the first one, and that's how we found out there was no sound.
Let me see if I can hear it.
So,
continue.
I guess seeing if there is any sound with a phone or not.
Okay, let's give it.
What do you think?
What do you think?
Oh! Hey, we got sound.
That's funny. We don't know what we did wrong. We'll figure it out later.
Right, exactly. Meanwhile, I gotta find our little stand for the phone.
Okay, go find the stand.
You talk. I'm gonna find the stand.
Let me get a hand off the camera. And now you can see the truth.
Wonderful. Live, unedited.
And we're probably gonna have to get my dog out of the crate in a little bit. Yeah, you might be. It might be that.
All that good stuff.
We have a pretty good plan about what to talk about. I can't even in the moment see if there's anyone on air. But if y'all have questions, load them up.
Here, set this up.
I have glasses clear no matter what I do.
Yep. Oh wow. Live. We'll just have to adjust it as we go. Just need a battery bank for my phone. C-cord battery bank. What are you doing?
Right here. I've got a battery bank. I just need the C-cord.
Where do we have the C-cord at?
Get the one in the bedroom. Or the one in the living room. There's one in the living room.
Here, meanwhile, you can see if anybody's down there by...
I know. I was looking. I'll stick with us just a little bit.
Yep, no one on there.
Okay. We'll cut this off the front anyway. I'm the only one on there. I'm sharing it on my Facebook account. Not all that crazy. Okay. There we go. Hey. Can hear us? Yes. We've got sound too. We're doing it on a cell phone, so it's kind of not the best news, okay? Let me turn this echo down. I can hear myself. All right. All right, let me see. I'm going to look at the chat, see if anybody asks any questions. I guess we do that on the laptop too. Hello, whoever you are. We're just figuring this out. It's our third try. We couldn't get sound if you weren't on the first one. We couldn't get sound, and now we got both.
No, you just get to see all the weirdness behind us too, because it's not framed in right or nothing like that. So
that's
just how it is. And with looking at a phone, you end up looking at yourself on the screen instead of looking at the camera like you're supposed to, so everybody looks funny looking up to the side. But anyways, Robin had a little stuff she wanted to bring up. Want to do it live, want to have a chat with people out there who follow the channel, follow people on social media. The whole idea behind Ritual Abuse Refuge is shared healing, having a platform for people, survivors, to tell their stories, tell how they overcame. It's not just about Robin speaking into a camera or us doing blog posts and stuff like that. We try to involve as many people who want to be involved. So we decided to do a live tonight, and she's gonna talk a little bit about everyday life, and we just want to hear any questions or stories you might have on chat. We're gonna try doing it where we could open up to where we could have other people on, doing interviews of other survivors, and just people in general who are out there trying to fight the good fight.
Yeah, sometimes with the talking head videos, it just feels like I'm just like talking to myself. I do interact with people on a regular basis. There are multiple people that I talk to almost every day, other survivors and some that aren't survivors who just wanted to learn. And that works, but sometimes I just want to sort of make it more clear what it's like on a day-to-day basis. Because most people view ritual abuse and ritual abuse survivors like we've gotten a death sentence, and it's really not like that. The healing is hard. It comes it comes off in layers. I'm still currently having some difficulty because I have new memories. They say once you think you're done, you're not done, and that's true. What I've been going through lately is not so much memories of satanic ritual abuse, it's memories of abuse, because I had learned at such a young age how to block out stuff. This is driving me nuts, my glasses. I had learned at such a young age how to block stuff out that I didn't want to deal with. That I got really good at it, and I would block out like warning signs about situations I shouldn't be going into, people I shouldn't be talking to, people I shouldn't get attached to, and those kind of things. It gets kind of hard because I knew I had a bad childhood, but when I opened that up to full healing and committed to it, I'm still going through it. And I don't know, the first memories you get seem the worst, but they're not, because as God allows you to view it, it gets harder and harder. The worst stuff gets, it gradually gets to the worst stuff. So, I don't want anyone to think that it's easy exactly. However, with each time that I'm healed from fear of them coming to get me at night was something huge in the beginning. God just took it from me when I was just so overwhelmed. I couldn't sleep. I was so afraid they would come to get me. I felt like they knew I was remembering. And when he did that, I have a much healthier way of dealing with fear than I ever would have had if I had not been ritually abused. He brings us way up. And that's going to be different because, one person has problems with one aspect. Another person has more problems with the others. SRA it all kind of fits the same patterns, but there's different crafts. There's different levels for sure, because some people have just insane government level training that it takes quite a bit to get past that. I am continually, and here this week, learning to go back and do what I tell people to do and keep it in a schedule so that I'm able to go out and have fun. We went to a arts festival today, and I got this t-shirt. The back of it's pretty. I'll show you the back of it later. It's kind of funny. But that's what I wanted to do, give more of a realistic view of what my life is like, as an example, what I see others. I know multiple extremely well-rounded, I guess, healthy God servants who have been ritually abused. It's not just the ones that speak out publicly. There are private Facebook groups where many women do. Most of the difficulty that I go through is not from the ritual abuse. It's people casting spells on me and stuff because I talk out publicly. And not everyone does that. Most of us don't. And that's fine. Sometimes while they're working a certain job they won't, or they have to consider their spouse and their family too. I think it's just a big decision for a person to make, and sometimes they don't come out publicly till later, and that's fine too. I mean, it's whatever's best for them, and that's between them and God. But there are many more than you hear about. Not just the people who don't know it, not just the people who are suffering, people who are very healthy. And it does hurt,
Well, and that's the more important thing, is to be focusing on healing over even coming out. I mean, I don't think everybody is supposed to be coming out public to just, I mean, yeah, we're all called to shine a light into some sort of darkness, but I mean, I think more that focus on healing more than trying to call out their abusers and the system that brought them into it. I mean, once they truly get past all that programming and hurts and stuff like that, they got a better chance of doing it with a clear head. There's something about, like, when you handle a situation too emotionally, when your emotions get involved, things don't come out the right way. They're less believable. There's a situation going on in the town we live in where this guy is calling his family out over being KKK members, accusing them and various members, public figures of the city, being involved with the KKK back in the day. They were burning houses down, hiding bodies in canals around here, stuff like that, of people that they just killed. And the problem is he's doing it out of emotion. It might not be that he's lying about it. He might have had enough with, whatever's going on in his life that he decided to call people out on it. But he has that raw emotion behind it where it gives him less credibility. So that's why it's more important to focus on that healing first, to where you're not coming from a high emotional level to where it increases your credibility.
Yeah, and the thing about, when I look at that, the devil is a narcissist, and we live in a narcissistic world. It's really upsetting when I see that in church leadership, which is not everybody. But one of the narcissistic strategies is that they are recording every flaw you have. And all of us have flaws. A lot of us have criminal records. Some of us have done ridiculous things. Okay, so they're recording that. And this particular guy has something on his record. And the narcissists are going to use it. And I just hope and pray and give him love and support. We've tried to reach out to him to tell him, look, you're fighting the occult. You need to repent and surrender completely to God. Because with him, he's got it.
Absolutely.
Without him, he don't. And he's got evidence of some serious child abuse going on. He's telling where the KKK buries the bodies in this town. I kid you not. And that is a cult. If you've read my testimony, you know that I was attacked by them too. All occult organizations work together against those who worship Jesus. They can pretend to be Christians, but they believe Jesus is dead. Well, and that's the thing.
This is the same very thing with this family, was that, the grandfather was such a God-fearing man who went to church every Sunday and stuff like that. And that's, a lot of them do hide in churches.
Yeah.
Yes, there's only one way. I know, it's just a stupid thing, but they got to get over it. There's only one way to come to healing, and that's through Jesus Christ. Now, unfortunately, they know that. They embedded in it. And now you got all these churches out there, and it's been that way for a while, but now more and more are coming forward as being false gospel churches. It's just, you're going to hear that, and it's all by design to discredit the survivor.
Right. And you never know what kind of stuff this particular guy or these families are into, and he's outing top level public officials and the way that they're handling different court battles, all sorts of stuff. And it just worries me. It's not that hard. If it seems evil, which we know this particular organization has always seemed evil, that's about as evil as you can get. Historic evil here in this country, right? So we knew that. Well, all of that is linked back to the enemy. They do have some sort of deity that they kneel to. They may not learn magic, but all occult organizations, they hide because they don't want to go to jail. Which is pretty ridiculous. They don't want to go to jail, so they hide their activities until they're big, till they can reveal themselves to society when we change the laws. And you notice they're trying to change the pedophilia laws and a ton of other stuff. If we do get a one world government, it will go by their standards. Yeah, that's not going to work out in the end, and we know it. It'll be okay. But that is how that works. They're trying their best to just stay hidden, grow, doing a lot of damage, and then just take over the world. And, well, biblically, that's not going to work out.
Just in case anybody's wondering why I'm like not looking at the camera, I'm just kind of like over here looking at my laptop. In case anybody talks, I could see what they're saying, and we can respond to what's being said. So that's why my focus is kind of looking down while she's talking.
Too. It's hard. This isn't how we planned it. But we knew at first, the first one, that there'd be different things that go wrong that wasn't in our plan. Get his face a little bit. Get my big head. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So again, as we said in the beginning, you ask questions, you can share your stories in the comments. We're here for you as much as just being a talking head. So
yeah, most definitely. Ask questions all you want. I think the realistic sort of prognosis for ritual abuse survivors is profoundly better than what we know. When we start getting those big gushes of healing where God just starts removing it, and there are people who he just heals them, and and it's just gone, and that's great. But I've never seen that myself, and that's not how he handled me. He made me go through each thing, so each memory. So as I healed from what happened to me, I got stronger than I ever thought I could be. I've seen so many miracles. I have no doubt. There's no room for doubt in my life. So it's better this way, and obviously it is because God chose it. Because I would have just flipped the switch and gone into not having all the dysfunction that I had. But this way we get to learn more. But even like this week, I have been dealing with some things that just really surprised me. And I'm going to start writing them down again. When I wrote my testimony, as I was healing, so that when you recover a memory, it's much more, what's the word? Poignant. I don't know if that's the word either. But, okay, usually when a person remembers something, like say a kid broke their arm when they were a kid, that's traumatic, and they always remember it. Well, when they're 20 and 25 and they remember this, it's not exactly the way it happened because all of these facts will blend with the other things that went on. We okay?
Yeah, we're fine.
Okay, so when you recover a memory, when it first comes out, it's exactly the way it happened. Like, for instance, I didn't remember being raped. I remember being stabbed by a knife because that's what I thought happened. As an adult, I understand these functions of the body, but at that age, I didn't. So what I remembered was being stabbed by a knife. So as those memories came to me, I wrote them down, and they are really, really strong. And the Lord had put me through college and everything else. I wrote another book prior to this to learn how to describe so that he could prepare me to do what he wanted me to do with this testimony. So I've kind of forgotten that, I guess, and been dealing with stuff and not been writing it down, which I think a lot of the things I'm going through now is not so much, I don't know if it's going to help everybody else. I do think I need to address more that after you get past remembering and coping with the ritual abuse, that there is more. And I don't know, I have an understanding that I'm never going to be perfect, but every day I have to get up and improve myself, just like everybody else. And that helps me with that. questions?
No, Mary was texting you saying that she couldn't chat. Anybody out there watching, just send a message so we know if the chat's working. We had somebody text us saying that she couldn't make a comment, so we just want to make sure it's working on other people's devices. Typically, when you check on the video, it says live. I mean, you guys know YouTube, so just hit the button and try commenting and see what happens.
Something came up. What's that?
There you go.
Somebody said, "Thank you for keeping up fighting."
I'll read it over here. You look at the camera and talk.
We're bouncing.
I love you like one. Thank you for keep fighting. Our God reigns. Amen. I'm finishing my book now and will send it to you when it's completed. My daughter was taken by an intergenerational occult family.
Yeah. We're gonna keep fighting and praying.
Absolutely.
Working hard. You know.
Praying for everybody out there is going through this.
Some days I just get so sick, and you know the devil worshippers are out there hurting people, and then when you see it everywhere, the way that it is, just the narcissistic way of life, the sociopathic way of life that the world is, and the way that the media, none of that's true. Nothing on the news is true if y'all didn't realize that. So, it's driving me nuts, the bounce.
Quit focusing on it.
Well, I hope Mary gets something on there. Mary, can you get out?
She just texted saying she doesn't have the option for the live chat, so I don't know.
Ah,
That's just so weird. I'm gonna screenshot this and text it to her and say it says it right there, but I don't know. It's weird.
Mary, sweet Mary. She probably has plenty to say. I know I do. She's like me.
And that's the thing, as we grow and get better at this, like I said, we want to have other people on here, do interviews, whether they're live or pre-recorded,
We certainly
and
could.
share these stories out there.
We could do Zoom calls, live Zoom calls.
Did I? Yeah, I said the right one. Anyways, I'm just making for terrible YouTube here.
Well, next time we'll figure out what happened with our sound, and we'll have our good camera up, and we won't have all this bounce going on. I'm trying to hold it still. It's not working out.
So you said you want to talk about everyday stuff. So
Every day.
everyday stuff.
Right now,
and not just, just everyday stuff. What you go through, what's your processes,
Right now, what we're doing is he's working, and I'm staying at home working ministry. So I get more sleep than he does for sure, because he's up really early. How many hours you work this week? Which was a short week.
Yeah, it was a shorter week, so it was right around 55, 56.
Right.
Wow,
He's
56,
working
55 hours.
A lot of hours, and I'm good at some things, and I'm not good at everything. I'm not required to be. So I've been learning lots of new things. I learned Canva and doing the graphics, which is working out real well in the end. But now I have to learn video editing. If you've ever edited a video, that's not what you think it is. It's very hard. So anyway, I'm learning all these new things. So I get up in the morning and I have 2 hours of scheduled prayer, and with all this new stuff going on, sometimes I don't really sink in and focus the way I should. And then I increase that to 4 hours because I am processing new memories. And that just started to blend into all day long. I had to stop just a few days ago. He's like, "You're going to do what you tell the other people to do, and stop worrying with this all day long." And it's by far easier to cope with situations. I had a lot of abuse in the family, made a lot of mistakes. I thought it was just I thought I had the worst childhood out of everybody. And then I get to talking to other people, and it's not. So I have to constantly be refocusing and saying, okay, this is my schedule from this time to that time. That's what I do. This is for prayer. This is for memory. Working on my memories, and then I can go play. Because the one thing that I don't talk about as much as I could, that's a whole new video. I need to be doing a whole video on this. It's just enjoying my life. I didn't do that before. And he had talked to me years ago about how the days that I spent in misery were a sin. They were an offense to him. And still sometimes, even though my life is pretty great as a whole, I get focused on the storm around me and not him. And I have to get that out of my head and remember, as I have a beautiful life. And yeah, the condition of the world is very bad. And I am in constant contact with people who are suffering. Some of them get stuck in sort of a loop. It gets very hard. But in general, I have a fabulous life. And I have to keep focused on my blessings and on the promises and on my identity through God, not through me. Not through my family, through God, and enjoy my life, and just have times where you just spend the afternoon walking, going to the beach. We go to the beach a lot.
Well, it's half a mile away, so that's a plus.
Yeah. So just enjoying life. And that was one of the main things that I was doing wrong. And that goes hand in hand with focusing on him and not the storm. And we really got to get with that. Everybody, not just survivors, not just those who love survivors. We've all got to get with that, because there's a lot of turmoil in the world. We just went through this virus. What are we calling it now?
Nothing.
I don't know. Anyway, it's a lot of fear, a lot of scary stuff, a lot of unreasonable restrictions, that are going on. The government is getting kind of shaky. I'm being nice. I'm being nice. So,
what hides in the dark will not remain in the dark.
No.
There's only for so long that you can hide certain things. And things that I've heard about 20 plus years ago are just coming to light. And this is stuff people are like, oh, you're crazy for even thinking about that. Or you're crazy for writing a book on that. And it's just like right there in your face now. And they're just like, yeah, it is what it is. And people, for the most part, are still just ignorant to it all, and they're just like being led like lemmings over a cliff. It's sad, but it is what it is.
People don't think independently anymore. That is the enemy's training. It's exactly what I was taught, and I see it all around me all the time. Are you really thinking independently? What do you really think? If you ever talk to anybody that's really high level occult, you can ask them that question. What do you really think? Each one of us could take a subject matter and view it and think about it, do our own research, and spit out our own individual opinion. That may be different than mine, maybe right, maybe wrong, all of that, but your independent opinion, what you really thought about something, they can't do that. The enemy has removed that ability from them, and you can see that. People are doing things that are absolutely ridiculous. And you can't, it's really hard, because there are days when I look and I'm like, is everybody going to hell? I know it's not everybody, but it's a lot of people. And how are we going to, it's not like, I thought it was when I was a kid, you just witnessed to people. This is like breaking strongholds that are in their minds. It's not even just getting the demons out of them. Demons ain't nothing. This is the way they think. This is them. This is how they live. They don't think for themselves. They don't care about each other. Everybody's marking bads on each other all the time. It's like, well, you did this, well, you did that,
But that's how we've been groomed as a society over the years. We don't hold anybody accountable. There's no self-accountability.
Right.
Everything is everybody else's fault.
Right.
It's just... We're in a society where it's like, do as you want, do as you will. It don't matter. Whatever makes you feel good, just do it. And it's, they say in the days of Noah, we're pretty much there. What is good is bad, and what is bad is good. And we're just here going along for this wild, crazy ride.
I had a conversation with to point out who people are too much. But she manages an apartment complex, and they do very little for the apartments. What she does, and she admits to this, is she spends most of the funds that come in on her own personal property, her own personal rental properties, which sounds like extortion to me, but she's wiggled around that. And if you say anything, she says, oh, it's okay because the owners don't care. So you're milking, people pay rent and you're not going to fix what you're supposed to, which they paid rent for maintenance. That's part of the deal. That's part of the contract that they signed. And then she's like, well, it's okay. The owners don't care. Nobody's going to arrest me. Can't get caught. It's like, oh, God, what am I supposed to do? And you can't, I can't cuss people out. What are you going to do? You try to be as firm as you can without hurting them, Any new comments?
Nope. Some people are not getting the live chat thing. There's only 4 of us on now, which,
Okay.
2 of them are us. So Mary's watching. She's been texting on your phone. So, but
okay. It's a good start, though. Depending on how this goes, we'll see if we want to do more. I think having a more realistic conversation instead of me just talking and talking more about the difficulties, because the fact that I speak out publicly brings a lot of turmoil, to say the least. There's a lot of witchcraft done on us, which for the most part we feel it.
Yeah.
We feel it,
Yeah.
but they'll hit us with a whammy and we'll get kind of a droopy spell. But you want to tell them what you did and how that worked out? And how we learn? I'll tell you.
Well, when you do what you're supposed to do and put that spiritual protection covering over your wife, and you say anything that goes against her must come through you first.
It's going to. It sure is. He can call me from work.
I don't know why. There's times where I just get so anxious. I've been hit with vertigo. I mean, all this stuff I've never experienced before, and it gets to the point where I just started calling her. What do you feel? I'm like, okay, stop it.
We'll put this off, and we can determine what's spell and what's not, because if we're both feeling it, and he's working, and I'm at home, and he calls and says, did you just suddenly get a sudden gush of anger, out of nowhere? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, me too. So we know we're learning from that. Yeah. It's not working out for him. It is, however, a bit tiring. I get sick of it. I do. I get sick of the witchcraft. And I also, it's hard. Like, we went to an arts festival, and they were selling all this jewelry, and a lot of the stuff was beautiful. And I love to support, independent artists. I did end up buying a t-shirt. But I had a bad experience where we bought in New Orleans a necklace that turned out, it was a cross, but it was a cursed object that made me very sick for a while. And, when I walk by, I see fleur-de-lis. Those are not good. Don't put that against your body. Constant symbols of that. I used to own a bunch of crystals. That did not work out for me, let me tell you. And so when I see these young people wearing them, I just, there's just part of me I have to have tact and wait for an opening to say, hey, look, that's not good for you. That's going to bring some evil things into your life, and they don't realize it. I mean, like me, they were like, oh, it's nothing. Nothing is not being used now. The enemy is using everything, television, radio, music. Everything he could possibly grasp onto, every bad feeling, every jealousy, every hurt feeling, everything. He's pouncing us, not just us, but people in general. I have to think we should, what time is it? We could hang in here for about an hour, and
it's pretty much been an hour since we started the first 2 failed ones, yeah, but...
Yeah, we're another 20 or something.
It just keeps popping up and down. You know, it is what it is.
Well, we'll learn. We will learn. I've got to go in there and all those graphics I made for this is not even funny. So we'll learn from this, figure out what we did wrong. Maybe we could do some trial runs during the day when nobody's paying attention to the YouTube channel and make sure all the equipment is connected. For some reason, our audio didn't work if you didn't witness that one. So, what else do you want to cover?
There's no point in dragging something on longer than it needs to be. So.
Do y'all have any questions or anything before we just close it out then?
The chat's not working for everybody. So
Oh.
That's why.
Not everybody.
I have a couple text messages.
Well, Mary could text me, but I don't know who the other person is.
No, there's somebody. Somebody popped in.
Yay.
Good to see you guys. Look forward. Thank you.
Who's that? Who's that?
That's the I love you like one. Good to see you guys. Look forward to more. I love to talk once my book is done. Absolutely. Okay.
You got our ritual abuse refuge at gmail.com. Just contact me. Whatever we need to do. Oh, I friended you. Oh gosh, his name. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce it. You're a dude, right? And I can't pronounce your name. I remember you. I friended him. Yeah. All right, that doesn't help me pronounce it. Ian? I-A-I-N. Okay, you're from the other side of this country.
Okay, there we go. I see that.
Ian.
Yeah. Don't need to get too much into it.
Yes! Oh, I got it right! Hey,
right.
Look. We're from opposite sides of the U.S. So, and I'm very Southern, and he's from Chicago, and I was kind of an isolated dysfunction, and he was in the city learning how to be a man when he was quite young, you know. And so it's almost like we're from different countries, and but I'm rubbing off on him a little bit. Some of the things I do. I had to give up the F word, so I end up being.
I still struggle with that one.
Yeah.
Myself, yeah.
I say things like "my goodness" when I didn't do that before, but so we're probably more different to each other than we are to people on the other side of the earth.
Well, I think what we're going to do is wrap it up for now. Like you said, try a little more micro things. I think even just some vlogging stuff. What's that? Mary's texting again. Mary says, good to see you. So yeah. So hopefully we can get to grow this more and get the other equipment working right. I mean, it hasn't turned out so bad over the phone, but you know. It's always weird doing stuff live, not editing out a bunch of ums and dead air. But anyways, you guys have all a good, blessed
Thank y'all for putting
night.
up with us. We're learning. We'll get better at this.
Good night, guys.
Mwah.